COVID vaccines are getting rolled out and restrictions lifted, and many business leaders are making plans to recapture market share. What should they be looking at as they position their company to reopen or regain market share?
Owners should be looking at planning their workforce rollout and deciding on what they need next in their company as they recover. And that means assessing the employees that you're going to need, who you're going to bring on board, what order you bring them on board, how that's all going to happen, how communication is going to happen. So that's really, I think, the key element now because of this unprecedented potential change in the labor force in a lot of industries.
What makes recovering from the COVID pandemic particularly challenging for businesses?
So it's rare to have a problem like COVID that's so prominent in a lot of industries. So it not only impacts your business, but it may impact your suppliers, other people. And so you're dealing with a much broader problem than just with your particular industry and with your particular employees who may rely on a lot of other individuals to help them out. There's the other aspect of general skill shortages. A lot of people have been disrupted in various industries like pilots, their skills atrophy. You can't just bring them on and instantly have them productive. And a lot of people have moved on. So the people that you used to have may no longer be available. And you have to figure out how to deal without those people. So it's particularly challenging to deal with all of these skill-related issues that you have with your employees.
When thinking about what skills are needed, what's important to keep in mind for recruitment and engagement?
You have to think about your business model. So it may have changed since, whatever impact COVID had on your business, which may be nothing, it may be a lot, it may have been booming. And so when you look at that, it's impacting your business model. And you have to, understand what individuals in your company who are there or not there that you're going to bring back on board. The vaccination makes it a little bit more challenging because if you're going to be bringing people together, while you could use social distancing and masks, that may not be as practical as possible depending on your industry. And so therefore you need to add in the mix of who's going to be available, are they vaccinated, when are they going to be ready, when are those skills going to come on board. So it's a more challenging problem than just saying I need to bring a person back with a specific set of skills.
How can a competency management program help?
So a competency management program helps you avoid a completely ad hoc approach to this. Again, if you're small with a few people, maybe ad hoc works, you know everybody, you know what you need. As you get bigger, ad hocing ends up being confusing. Different managers are doing different things. Different employees are being brought on board. How are you communicating what you need to everybody? So a competency management system brings all of that data together so that you can approach it and analyze it and look at a uniform approach that can be then communicated to all the people within your organization so that they understand where you're going with that. So if you're saying your corporate strategy is going to be this to recover from the pandemic and here are the things we need, everybody understands that and can look and get that data together, and you can start collecting data so that as you recover you can measure whether your recovery is on track. Because again, the concern is that if you shrank dramatically and you're planning on growing dramatically, then it's a confusing time. Lots of things are happening, lots of balls in the air, and so therefore you don't want to just say, oh, I'm going to wing it. And that's what a competency system helps to prevent. And as you bring people on board, there may be a mixture of your old employees, which would be great, but also a mixture of new employees. And there's this understanding of what everybody's supposed to do, and a competency system is particularly great at helping everybody understand what are the job roles in your company, what are we supposed to be working on, at what level are we supposed to be working on, so that everybody's on the same page. And so as you add people, nobody's confused about what's supposed to be happening.
What one thing do you want business leaders to remember from this conversation?
So I think the one thing I want everybody to do is to execute a plan. I've never seen an ad hoc process, particularly in medium to larger companies, but even in some small companies with only 30 people, rolled out correctly. So it's better to make decisions like this with data, understanding all of the concerns of the employee, which is data as well, understanding their jobs, your strategy. So a competency system helps with that planning process, and above all, plan. Don't just wing it. Plan the actual what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and since the execution of bringing your workforce or changing your workforce as a result of COVID changes is done better when you plan it out based upon real data.